Dear Commissioner, dear colleagues, friends, ladies and gentlemen, it's with great pleasure that I welcome you to this 15th annual SCIC Universities Conference. We are honored and happy to have Commissioner Vassiliou with us today, just as was the case last year. And we're also very happy that the Commissioner has accepted our invitation to address the conference. So we will give Mrs. Vassiliou the floor in a moment, but before I do so, I would like to also welcome, let's say, our virtual participants, because as usual, and this year even more than ever, this conference is seriously overbooked. But fortunately, we have installed a web stream facility allowing participants from outside to follow the proceedings, so a hearty welcome to you as well. I would like also to point out that participants from outside have the possibility to put questions, which will be dealt with at a later stage. Again, I would like to point out that we are lucky and also proud of the fact that SCIC is in a position to organize a conference like this fully in-house. We have the members of my unit, we have a special conference organizing unit, we have our informatics colleagues, we have technicians, logistical people, and last but not least, of course, our interpreters, whom I will introduce at a later stage. Now I would like to present to you, to introduce to you our colleagues and the speakers sitting at this end. We have, as I said, the honor and the pleasure of having Commissioner Vassiliou with us today, who is, as you know, responsible for education, culture, multilingualism, and youth. Next to the Commissioner, Mr. Jonathan Hill, who is a member of her cabinet and responsible for, among other things, matters concerning our Director General. Then Mrs. Olga Cosmidou, Director General for Interpretation of the European Parliament. Then Professor Maurizio Viezzi of Trieste University, Mr. Patrick Twiddle, Director for Interpretation of the European Court of Justice, Mr. Vlachopoulos, who represents our friends from the Director General for Translation. Welcome. Then we have Mrs. Andan Berthier, Director of the Interpreters, if I may put it like this. Then Katrina MacLeod from Leeds University, Mr. Matthew Parrott from also Leeds University. And then to my left, Brian Fox, our new director, my new boss, because from the 1st of January, he has switched functions with Andan Berthier, so now Brian Fox is responsible for the provision of interpretation. Then we have all the way from Australia, Professor Mark Orlando. Then we have Professor at Monash University, if I'm correct. Jeva Zoberga, who is head of the Latvian interpretation unit in DG SCIC. Michele Ferrari, who is a senior interpreter in the Italian interpretation unit in SCIC, but also a gadgets fan and particularly interested in the technologies for interpretation. Then Jose Iturri, who is a senior interpreter of the Spanish booth in SCIC, and who is what we call our awareness raising coordinator. And I take the opportunity because as a chair, I have received a sheet with advice and recommendations on how to work in meetings with interpretation. I will not read them out because Jose will exactly deal with that typical issue, so I'll leave it to him to explain that. And then Pernilla Schölin, who's the newly appointed deputy, or acting, I must say, head of unit for international relations and interinstitutional cooperation. I think I have made sure. Yes, okay. Then I would like to point out that we have the following language regime. We have what we call a 6-into-3, meaning that the participants can speak French, German, English, Italian, Spanish, and Greek, and can listen to French, German, and English. And I would like to take the opportunity to also present the team of interpreters from left to right, from my point of view. Gudrun Rohr in the German booth, with Barbara Bloch in the German booth. Then we have Anna Economides and Neil Monroe in the English booth, and Patricia Tosbach and Frans Lemaitre in the French booth. Frans Lemaitre, I must say, is here in a double capacity, because he's not only interpreting today, but he's also present as the head of the French interpretation unit. So, and then I wanted to point out a small change in the program that's not mentioned, but after Mrs. Cosmidu has spoken, we would be happy to also give the floor to Mr. Patrick Twiddle of the Court of Justice for a contribution. And now, if you allow me, I would like to invite the Commissioner to address the conference.